Okay, this is the Birkenhead entrance to the Queensway Tunnel, and we're going on a short tour of the control centres and ventilation systems, starting here at the main control room and ventilation shaft at the Pierhead in Liverpool.
The Queensway Tunnel is the old one, and the Kingsway Tunnel is the new one. We're here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There's always two of us on duty. We're all electrical and mechanical engineers, but we all know the tunnel inside out. It's contrary to belief, it's not just a hole with a few lights in. So after today, you'll be a lot more educated if you understand what the tunnel is all about. This is the start of our jurisdiction. This is the M53, B&Q roundabout.
Oh yeah.
So that's where we pick you up. If you're on this road here, you're committed to coming into the tunnel, and you can't go anywhere else. Follow you all the way through. And all the cameras are all recorded. All the external cameras are pan, tilt and zoom, so we can do what we like with them. As you go through the Mersey Tunnel, you can see fans on the roof. Like this is part of one here. They're not our main fans. Our main fans are in two stations. One by Costco longer here, one by Seacombe Ferry. Those fans were put in after King's Cross disaster and the London Underground, where a lot of people died through smoke inhalation. So we reckon in emergency, we might have not had emergency ventilation. So we've got 16 of them in each tunnel. If there's a fire in there, we get audible and visible on the panel above where Bill sits. We accept the buttons lift, the computer takes over and runs the fans in the profile to move the smoke away from the standing traffic. So whoever's behind the incident can be evacuated in clean air. The emergency services can come in the clean air and deal with the incident as well.
What temperature can that tunnel withstand in the event of a fire?
Big one. I'll show you something in a minute.
Right, well we're going to leave the main control room now and go underground to one of the main fan chambers where the air is drawn in and blown into the tunnel.
Now, basically we've got two fans in this chamber. We've got this one here and one round the corner. We always have one that's a duty fan and one that's an off-duty fan, but we don't need to run the exhaust fans all the time. We can actually run them, we tend to run these when it's peak traffic or there's an event in the city that involves a lot of standing traffic. But generally on the whole, we can just ventilate the tunnel by using the fresh air alone. Now we'll get one of these fans switched on. Now these are the original fans, as I said before. They weigh 25 tons each. They measure 28 feet wide and each one can push or pull 500,000 cubic feet of air in 1 minute. Now just to point out to you about the air quality in this chamber, if you're thinking about how mad is it to be standing in the main exhaust chamber of the Queensway Tunnel, the air quality today is a lot cleaner. Many years ago, the working time in this chamber was only 15 minutes a day, but due to many things that have happened over the years, basically we've got two tunnels now. So back in the 60s there was only one tunnel. We had lead in petrol, we had a set of traffic lights, and cars were a bit more unreliable as well back then. So now we've actually got two tunnels, we don't have lead in petrol, and the air quality, the car engines are a lot cleaner. So those factors mean that we are actually quite clean in here. The working time, safe working time in this room now, as opposed to back in the 60s, is 8 hours. So a bit of a difference from 15 minutes to 8 hours. We measure our air quality quite a lot, and what we found is, if compared to some of the city streets around Liverpool, last time they checked us, we were 9 parts per million. Again, I'm throwing a figure at you that probably means absolutely nothing. But if I compare it to James Street by the train station, they measure 24 parts per million. So
20 odd feet. You can see the shaft coming through from the gearbox there. And there's the electric motor that drives it. Drafty in here now, isn't it?
Can't please everyone. People are moaning.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Have we got to come back up these?
We haven't got to up these rods.
This is the fresh air chamber, and the air comes into this chamber, and it comes in through our shoulder level of the building. We've got some air intake, which I'll show you in a minute. But also as well, we've got loads of bay doors just up there, which are on George's Dockway. And the minute we open them doors, everything that's around that door gets sucked into this chamber, hence that, all the cigarettes. Because what happens as well is a lot of people in the surrounding offices around all stand in that doorway to have cigarettes. So whenever we open the door, everything comes in, crisp packets, cigarettes, power supply on one side of the river, the other side of the river can take over, we've still got lighting and electricity through the tunnel. If we use power supply on both sides of the river, we actually have diesel generators making it as well. This one here is all our
Right, well, we're going to be descending now to a much lower level. This will take us actually underneath the pier head and the old Liverpool dock. You can see some of the foundations of the liver buildings here also. Right, well, this is one of the tunnels that take us to the emergency exits on the road deck. You can see these green emergency exits as you're driving along.
Go out a bit and have a look. We'll show you some of the stuff out there as well that you should be looking for. This area that you're in is one of the oldest parts of the tunnel itself. When they originally constructed this tunnel, there was a shaft down on the Liverpool side about 200 feet, another shaft down on the Birkenhead side, again about 200 feet. Two teams set off excavating on the tunnel, and it was said that when they met in the middle, they were less than an inch off plan. Now we're talking 1928 when they met in the middle, so to be less than an inch off plan, with no computers, no lasers, everything was hand-picked small explosives, so this tunnel was hand-dug. The only gadget they really had was actually a tool called the theodolite, which is basically, it just shines a beam of light in the direction that they need to go. So
Right, well, we're going to go even lower now, down below the road deck, and see what it's like down there. Well, this is the part of the tunnel that nobody normally sees. You can see the curvature of the bottom half of the tunnel here underneath the road deck, and above our heads is the actual deck with all the traffic on it. It's quite breezy in here. There's a lot of wind that's ventilating the tunnel, but you can't hear any of the traffic whatsoever. It's quite quiet apart from the wind. Quite an eerie place, really. There was talk some years ago of making another carriageway at this lower level, but it never came to pass.